Thursday, Tony Messenger from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch joins us. Today, he checks in from an undisclosed bunker via Skype. Tony, are you there?
I am here. Good morning, McGraw. How are you?
We are great. Thanks for checking in. How surprised were you that Mayor Slay announced he was stepping down? Or
I was
not
shocked.
running in? Really?
I had no idea. I had no inkling of it. It looked to me like he was getting ready to coast to another term, and there wasn't even anybody making loud noises about running against him. Nobody that was in a good position. And so it completely caught me by surprise. And like a lot of people who write about politics and sort of live in that political world, my immediate thoughts were to go to, what's going on? What's the scandal? What's the health problem? What's the secret behind it? And, it appears that the mayor just decided it was time. Being mayor's a tough job that really takes the toll on you after a while. And he's gonna step away and do something else.
I've heard a number of even his biggest supporters say that it was probably about time, right? I mean, there's only so much you can do. You become stale. Even Tony La Russa had to step away at some point. It was time for the city to go in a different direction.
Well, you see that with coaches in the professional ranks who, even when they're successful, sometimes realize the message just isn't going to get through this time. People aren't listening. It's time to step away. It's time to go do something else and maybe coach another team or do something else. So, the mayor has good political instincts, and he's going out on top in the sense that he had as good a week as a mayor has ever had in terms of defeating the attempt to take the earnings tax away. And bringing the NGA to the north side. Those were both really big moves, really big decisions that happened on his watch in his last week before he announced that he's going to step down. He's obviously mayor for another year, and that was the focus of my column on Sunday, is talking about what should he do for the next year, who should he focus on. And I suggested he continue to focus on the north side because that's where the city's hope for growth and rebirth is going to be.
So looking into your crystal ball, who do you see as climbing the mountaintop to be the early odds-on favorite to be the new mayor of St. Louis?
I don't know that I would bet on a favorite right now, but I would say you're clearly going to have, it looks like Gregory Daly's going to run. Looks to me like Tashara Jones is probably going to run. Lyda Cruzan might run. Antonio French is talking about it, but I tend to think he won't run. Lewis Reed is talking about running, although I think his voice is likely going to be a little stale if Tashara Jones gets in. I think it's going to be one of those big, wide-open races with lots of candidates that makes it very hard to predict.
Yeah. Looking at his 16 years, you can throw in the Busch Stadium, you can throw in Ballpark Village, you can throw in Washington Avenue. I mean, he has sort of been there for a pretty extraordinary run over the last 16 years.
Well, and this is the yin and yang of trying to determine legacy. Lots of things in the Central Corridor have definitely been improved while the mayor. No doubt about it, lots of cleanup, lots of improvement in downtown and the Central Corridor. But the great question for the overall life of the city and the sort of legacy stuff that gets written by history professors 20 years from now was some of that at the expense of North Side or at the expense of some other development? I think one of the mayor's strongest things that he's done in my short time here in St. Louis is push for consolidation and regionalization. And I tweeted moments after he announced he was not going to run again, I would love to see that be his next big role, is to be that cheerleader for uniting the city and the county and getting rid of some of these municipalities and bringing the unity to our region that we really need if we're going to be great.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Tony Messenger, every Tuesday, Thursday, today via Skype from his undisclosed bunker. Tony, have a good week. Thanks.
Good to talk to you, McGraw.
You got it. Talk to you Thursday.